I should be live in just a sec. And I guess you can just join in yourself, honey.
Okay, I think I can.
Be all that you can be.
Be all that you can be.
And for those of you who are there early, greetings. This is Michael at California Travel Videos. And we're doing something that is live today, or at least we're trying the old college try, as we used to say. So, Grace, are you with me?
I'm here. Hi.
Hey, Grace, she is right there. Can they see me? I don't know. I'm behind. Oh, there we go. A little bit of me in the upper corner. Hi, everybody.
There he is.
So, and I guess I can't quite see you on my screens, but she's lurking over my left shoulder, and hopefully the audio is going to be working much better today. Don't you know?
Yes, we did a practice today.
So we're dangerous now,
yeah,
aren't we?
Yeah, now we're equipped with knowledge.
That's right, exactly. So close and yet so far. So, what are we going to do on the show today, darling? What would you like to chat about?
We're going to chat about how we communicate and some of the benefits of that, especially in an RV community. Some of the things that we get to learn about.
That means
different ways.
Communicate with you all out there, as well as later on, communicate between us.
What? You didn't tell me that was. You didn't communicate that to me, Michael.
Well, the illusion of communication.
Yeah, so I see Penny here. Welcome, Penny.
Hey, Penny, glad to have you.
We really are looking forward to you guys being a big part of this show. Without you, there's really no reason of being here live. We can talk to each other in the studio, but we're here.
What she said.
I can talk to him anytime, but we're here to communicate with you guys. So we definitely want to know you're here. Put your hand up, wave.
So I guess people coming in, and I'm just going to take a look somewhere. I have, oh, you gave me a hard copy of the show notes, didn't you? That was very thoughtful of you, darling.
You're welcome.
And, okay, get a couple other screens going here.
Hello, the journey awaits. Welcome from Georgia. Working and listening. That's, hey, I like multitaskers.
Oh, yeah, that's very poignant, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to remember what a little bit about you there, but welcome from Georgia anyway. It's good. We came so close last year to being in Georgia. Grace, tell us about that.
Well, we got all the way down to Myrtle Beach in South Carolina. And then actually, yeah, because then we scooted over toward the Blue Ridge Mountains in that direction. So we sat right above Georgia. We really wanted to try to drop down there, but time was ticking.
Did you know that Georgia was the Utopia state?
Utopia state?
That was called, yeah, when it was first formed. I think I was going to be going down to Disney World, and I was thinking, well, maybe I'll take a day trip in a car and go to Georgia a day or so. And you get these Fromers or whoever the books are, and you read up on it, and it's like the Utopia state. So yeah, when it wasn't one of the first 13 colonies, of course, but when they formed as a state, they wanted to do some things that, how we get best class practices from others. And they had some things they wanted to do and some things and not so much that they wanted to do.
Is that why they're still singing about Georgia? Georgia on my mind?
I don't know, but they're peachy.
Yeah, they are. And I meant to be RVing. Oh, boy, tell us about it. We were meant to be RVing, too. We miss it a lot.
Hey, Teresa, so happy to have you here today. And Grace, we need to do? We need to be getting like, howdy, y'all. So we got to get that text going there too, baby, because some of the people will be coming in a little bit late and they can take a look and see.
Welcome, y'all. Happy to have you here.
That's right.
Hi, Van Life with Gina. Ooh, only 8 hours from Disney World and 7.5 to Myrtle Beach.
And that was where we finished our going down the East Coast and going down south. I said, Grace, I want to go to Myrtle Beach.
Well, and again, to recap on one of the things we want to talk about today is how RV life has benefited us. And what you guys are talking about right now is one of those things that's beyond fantastic, because Michael and I, when we did our trip, so much of it was by the seat of our pants, and we were on a anyway the wind blows journey. So we
that's well said, Grace.
It's true. We would land somewhere, and then we actually look forward to all of you to help us figure out where we were going. And I mean, what was a perfect example of that, honey?
Where we were going? Well, I can't help but think about the Allstays application or app, but oh, what else did we have? Well, I mean, obviously looking at other people's YouTubes were
And Elko.
wonderful. Oh,
Remember
and
Elko? Where that at?
Elko.
What did we learn there?
Well, I don't know how to say. Many times we would go to an Elks Club that we didn't have one at Elko, but the RV resort, it did have a, should we say a pub?
A pub, yeah.
A pub, yeah. And so we had a nice juicy burger, loved it. And there were some people that were doing libations and we visited with, and they, word of mouth, gave us a great tip on where to go. I don't know if you ever heard of the Ruby Mountains, but where in the Ruby Mountains did we go, Grace?
Lamoille Canyon.
Lamoille
yeah.
National. I want to keep on saying a park. It's a
forest.
forest.
It was a national forest, yeah. And with 65 and older, you get that park pass, so you get 50% off. So that $24 night, I think, was $12.50 a night. Which, come on, $12.50 a night, you can't really beat that. Hey, Adam Titone is here. Welcome.
Hey, Adam, so glad to have you here. I miss you, and I keep thinking about when we would go out for lunches, and nowadays I have to reach in the back pocket. No, I'm not running for president, not a president, but you get some of these masks, and I'll show you my other one here in a second. But here's the one that I like now, and it looks like it's some kind of a garment, doesn't it, Grace? But at any rate, it has plenty of room around the ears. Now, I do have another one that I used before, and when you get them, well, I guess it was around March when we started having the concerns, and so you get them online, and here was the one I got there. And you notice what it does to my ears? It's too small. So I keep saying this is my presidential mask because, my ears are kind of looking like President Obama. They're kind of like they're protruding.
Exactly.
So I prefer a regular mask. Get those ears back.
Kind of big too, honey.
The better to hear me with.
Yeah. So we fixed our mic problem since last time that we tried to do this live. We were not bouncing off each other.
Oh man, that was something else. It's like, that what we were hearing from each other, everything was great. Problems leaving clear. Well, the problem wasn't getting to the other side so good. So there was some echo cancellation software, and we think we have, hopefully, fingers crossed. But you know how it is when you're traveling or RVing. There is stuff that happens, doesn't it? And I saw, Teresa, where you said that when you were in Myrtle Beach is the only place you could find a generator. And isn't that interesting? Because it is so true that we have I'll call it the ecosystems, when you're traveling and you get to some places and, it's nice to be in the sticks. It's nice to have the getaway to boondock, if you will. And then there is times where it's nice to be around the mother ship. And yeah, you can, I suppose you get to Amazon locker and have things, shipped to a location and then just pick it up there, or find a Walmart for some of your things. But sometimes we like the conveniences of life. And so, especially, well, like where we got our RV, Grace.
Oh, yeah.
Escalante, was that the name of the city? Yeah, Escalon. And so this was it's actually getting near Yosemite. And it's like, why would there be anything out in the middle of the Central Valley? Well, because it's on the way to Yosemite. So that was where we found a spot that had just the RV we were looking for. It's gosh, what year was it? About 2008, I think. You get the chassis one year and the motor another year. It's a Sprinter engine. It's a diesel. And it's a Class C, 25 or 24 feet. One of them says one the other. So if you want to make it sound like it's just a little bit bigger, we got a 25 footer and more with our bikes or e-bikes behind us. Or if they say they don't take anything more than 25 feet, we're 24. That's what the name is on the side, 24 foot. Hey, Dee. So happy to have you here.
Exactly. And what Michael was saying about our RV, that was another perfect example of community, because we went to the YouTube community and the RV YouTubers, and we were able to figure out what type of an RV we wanted for ourselves. So another great example.
Yeah, the RV Trader, I'm sure some of you who have got RVs, and you can, even if you don't buy one from there, it's good to have an idea on what prices for things are going. Because, you got the the shape that it's in, the miles, the model, the amenities, all of those different things. And Dee, I know that when we were talking last night, is that you were talking about your generator. Now, Grace, we remember how much we liked Lake Havasu in January on the way going to courtside, or with the escapers subgroup. And it was beautiful. And I don't know, for those of you who have been down there in January, but what was a special event down there in January, Grace?
That was the Escapers Bash.
But before it started, what did we do for an extra day? Do you remember?
We did the hot air balloons.
Hot air balloons.
Yeah. We didn't actually do the hot air balloons.
No, thank you.
But I want to do it, and I'm afraid of heights.
Well, I remember my parents' story. They were in the African continent, and they went up. It was a big basket, about 12 to 15 people. It's a big hot air balloon. And the winds came up, which winds can do, and they started heading for Tanzania, and they're not allowed to go in that country. So they had to bring it down fast. And anthills can be, 5 to 10 feet tall. And when they came down, if you're going 10 to 15 miles an hour, that's like hitting something at that speed. And so when it hit, some of the people went flying. Fortunately, my folks didn't have broken ribs. Somebody else had some problems. But my dad lost his glasses for a while, got shoved out. So yeah, just have to have a good sense of humor, right, Grace?
Exactly. Hey, Adam has a nice thing to share with us as far as RV and different opportunities. And he's telling us a tip that he learned is check out the casinos, because they have grounds, and we were able to use the pool. Which we remember we did,
and use the pool too. Wow,
yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we would have been able to use the pool. We did that in Mississippi.
Yeah, we did.
No. Was it Mississippi? No, it's where Tennessee. It was in Memphis, Tennessee. We went to a reservation casino and we stayed there. And we could have used the hotel pool, but it was, I think, the time of year it was getting cold.
Yeah, I think you're right. We were for Memphis, Tennessee, but I thought we stayed on the other side of the river in Mississippi. But anyway, wherever it was.
No, we went to go visit the Mississippi.
Okay, well, yeah. What she said, there we go. But yeah, so yeah, we did have a spot that we stayed at a casino just that one day, I think, on the whole trip of the 80 plus days. But
we'll
it gave us a good feel. We went out for the buffet dinner, and it's the all you can eat. Remember that one?
At the casino?
Yeah. Yeah, we had one night.
Actually, I don't remember the all you can eat. I guess I remember the all you can eat in Albany. The Chinese one?
Oh, yeah. We won't forget that one.
That was like off the chain. That was good. Off the chain, for those of you that don't know, is a good thing.
But there was, if it say a buffet line, a buffet table, how they are about, 15, 20 feet long. There must have been 6 of them, all with different foods. So yeah, you couldn't say you couldn't find anything you like. You could always find a lot you like. But yeah, casinos are certainly some things that do have their benefits. And Grace actually worked at a casino. Tell us about that story, Grace.
Well, first I want to acknowledge that Dee loves hot air balloons. So her and I are going to have to make a date that we'll hook up and we'll do the hot air.
There you go.
You can stay down on the ground and get us waving.
Yes.
All righty. So me and the casino, well, it was very short-lived. I started in the middle of February at our local casino. I will say, it's more a little extra money, something to do, etc. It was fun, a lot of activity going on, but the cool part was they really took good care of us, because there's not only a buffet and a lot of restaurants for the customers, but we had our own secret world in the back that included a buffet for us, all free. So any break, breakfast, lunch, dinner, you go eat. Great for the keto diet.
It was that. And I'm going to go ahead and for B and Therese.
Okay.
If I can spell it AERESA, here's our link. If you can join in. If you can join us. Control V. There we go. So I don't know. Sometimes I'm not sure if it has a hot link or it has to be either cut or pasted, but hopefully that'll work.
A good test for us.
It will. So if you want to come in, put you into the green room, I think it is, the waiting room.
I
I
think
would
the
be
green
happy
room
to.
sounds right. That's what they have, like, the late show and everything else here in the green room.
Yeah, and speaking of witches, I have this nice green screen behind me, so I'm not actually right overlooking the Golden Gate
No.
Bridge, but we do have different screens.
Okay,
Here's
I want to do it. I want to push the button.
okay, you do it.
Okay.
You do it.
Hello, Teresa.
Overlooking the Golden Gate
No.
Bridge, but
Hey,
we do
guys.
have different screens.
Okay,
Here's
I want to do it. I want to push the button.
Hold
okay,
on.
you do
Okay,
it.
I'm
You do
hearing
it.
back
Hello.
up.
She knows this better than us. We need to say nothing, but I can't tell you how many times it's like people would be California travel videos, turn off the YouTube audio speakers. I think she's done it.
Yay.
Greetings. So you look like the lady in the shade today. So you got this big bright something behind you. Where are you at?
I am mooch stocking at my dad's house.
Cool.
Still there. Good. Good. Tell us about that.
Well, we sold the house. It's been a month now. We moved here. We're going to be heading to Mayberry next week for the YouTubers Meetup. We will come back here for about 6 weeks. We are hoping to fly into Canada for about a month, and then when we get back, we'll be headed to Quartzsite. So
Wow,
Awesome.
that is such a cool thing. Now, kind of to go through the stepping stones, I don't think many people know about Mayberry unless you're the inner circle. So tell us a little bit about that RV meetup.
And this is a meetup I think they started like 4, maybe 5 months ago with Blue Wave and
Good Bob.
Camper Life. Yep, Bob from Blue Wave, Camper Life, New Horizons.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, and they'll all be there. So we're pretty excited to get there. I think there's about 35 channels that are going to be there and a couple of non-content creators.
Wonderful. Now, how far is that from where you're at on the coast?
3 hours from me.
Oh, that's not bad at all. You're going to take your rig, right?
Yes. We're actually having solar installed while we're there.
Here again, you were talking about when you were at Myrtle Beach, you were able to get a generator. And, a lot of people at Quartzsite or other places, when you get these places, there's, all the handyman that are going to do the installs. So
Right.
are you going to go all in or how much you going to go into the solar?
We are all in, and we have the dry
Woo-hoo.
campers doing it for us.
Who's that?
The dry campers, Mike and
Yeah.
Leanna.
Uh-huh.
So
Wonderful. So you going to have your stuff, you're going to buy it there, or is it going to be pre-ordered and you're going to take it with you, or how are you going to do that?
everything's pre-ordered. Our larger panels are being delivered there either today or tomorrow. Everything else we have with us already, and we're taking it up with us. So we're ready.
There's a lot of piece parts to this, as you know, and it was a year ago in December. Sometimes they have these end of the year deals. I'm trying to think of the place in Arizona that's certainly popular on the internet, and a lot of people and they sell kind of a kit with all of the things, including the fasteners for your solar on the roof. And did you have like a big grocery list with different stores, or have where you bought a kit ready to go?
Actually, it pretty much was a kit. The dry campers helped us figure it all out, what we needed, pre-did everything for us, sent us the invoices so we could just order it and kind of choose a little bit who we wanted to get the stuff from. They gave us a couple options. And I'm prior law enforcement, so I was able to get a discount plus their discount. So.
Oh, look at that. I tell you, these
Nice.
RVers, they are smart cookies. Good for you.
Now, Dee says that's Santan Solar in Arizona.
That sounds right. It's in Arizona. It does have solar in the name. I don't want to say sun and something I thought was in it, but that might be the one. And any rate, then it's like, well, how many watts of batteries are you going to go for?
Boy, you're asking me the technical questions.
Oh, no. I mean, normally you might get like 4 or 5 batteries. A lot of people get the Battleborn or other lithium oxide ones.
We did get right now we have the 4 Battleborn batteries. We will be going upgrading it to 6, but it's sun and wind out of Arizona.
That's it. Sun and wind. Thank you. another
Yes.
one, like besides the one D mentioned, that Santan. But
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's a great way to go. Start with 4 because they're maybe you can get them for under 1,000, maybe you can't, but yeah, start with
We
4,
did.
and so you're going to get enough. Oh well, geez, if you can store the better part of 4 kilowatts, then you won't run your air conditioner 8 hours with it, but it's enough to probably do most of what your needs are, isn't it?
We have it set up where we have 2 sets so that during the day we have a set of solar set up where we will be using the energy as it comes in, and then we have another set of solar panels that'll go to charge the batteries for nighttime use.
Oh, that's a very good way to do it, isn't it there? So yeah, because you don't want your house batteries to go
Yeah,
dead.
exactly.
Or and actually the lithium polymers they can go down to, I don't know, 10-20%, whereas you get the glass batteries, or like we have in our RV, we have the typical, what do you call them, golf cart batteries, 6 volts, and you don't want to get them less than about 50% on the lead acid. So you've got a really nice setup. So I'll bet you're excited to see that installed, aren't you?
We are really excited. Yes, definitely.
It's one of the things I remember, and I don't know if this was Technomadia or whomever, some of these people are really into the technology, and but you get these like vampire currents that can take some of the voltage out of your battery if you leave it for months. Yeah, because they
Yeah,
spend part of their time in the sailboats and out on the ocean, and if it's
yeah,
something as little as you say, well, my smoke detector, which it is always on. So if you've got a smoke or carbon monoxide detector and you think, well, I've got everything shut off, but if you don't shut off the main, is like, well, it'd be expensive if you had to replace all the batteries because they all got deteriorated. So I'm sure you're going to have a lot of smart people around you there to do that. But if you have any lessons learned, we can't wait to see how this goes.
yeah,
You
we're
get me
excited.
excited.
And I'll tell you what they are. The 4 panels are, I got it in front of me now. So we have 4 of 325 watts. And that's
Wow. These are pretty, these are
Yeah.
2 feet by 3 feet or something, I guess. Those are nice size.
nice. Yeah, they're the big ones. And then we have 13 of the 100 watts.
13? Wow.
That's a lot of power coming
Oh,
in.
that's right. Because you've got 2 different
Two.
systems, don't you? You said one for your nighttime for your coach and the other for the daytime running stuff. So there's 2 systems then, aren't there?
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to go ahead and let you know that Dee told us that Santan is the most reasonable for panels in Gilbert. You can get 239-watt panels for less than $100. Wow.
Is that right? And I think we're talking, for those who are not into this, the
Right.
monocrystalline cells is which some of the people and who knows what's best for everyone, but if like some people have rigs smaller than D, some of these smaller vans, they just get some of these oh, I can't think of what they are. They're lightweight, but they're not the ones that are like an inch thick. And some people I've seen, like some of our friends, where they've if you, it's not where it's actually glued to the roof of your van, because heat will get underneath there, especially when it's 80, 90, 100 degrees. It gets warmer when it goes through those. So some people have got like a little insulation spacer so that they last longer. But I think
Yeah.
you've got the right way there for sure, Teresa. So you're going to be living the life that you've been wanting to when you sold your stuff. And what do they say? Less junk, more journey.
Exactly. John says that he bought 2 panel set in a suitcase style for charging the main RV battery.
Mm-hmm.
Plugs were the wrong shape. Had to buy new plugs to insert for the RV.
Oh, yeah.
VR.
Then there's the plugs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always, that's why I'm very thankful that he's the guy who does connections, because I get too frustrated. I put everything in a box and send it back.
Well, there is a lot of integration that goes in with these types of things. And yeah, so John, I was kind of thinking about going your way, is that maybe just kind of putting a toe in the water or something until I go all in. But, it really talks about, what is your needs and what are the benefits. And so I guess that if you're just looking to kind of keep things going when you're out for a couple days and you don't need to use it for your main source of power, like we have in ours, a couple ways of doing things. We have the built-in Onan generator. It's
Nice.
3,500 watts, I think is what it is. So, that will run the air conditioner or the heater if we need to do that, or, stuff around there, or our e-bikes. Now we have a couple Brad city bikes, and
Nice.
it does take about 4 hours to charge them. If you've gotten it down, if you've done like 60, 80 miles, it does take a while to charge it. So do you really want to run your generator that long if you don't need it for other things? Well, don't want to. So, it depends on what type of electrical needs. If we're, well, like say editing a video and then want to upload, let's say we're down at Quartzsite, we're in BLM land, and we would like to have some of the fun for the day and get it uploaded. And well, one we'll talk about later is how much cellular signal you can get when everybody else is on during the day, and you have to wait till after midnight to get any kind of speed to upload a video. But then there is some of the other things that you have, like how much, even just for a laptop, or and that's where some things like iPads or iPhones, or whatever your Android devices are. You learn to do things that are maybe not quite like, well, I'd be embarrassed to show you all the stuff in my studio here.
No,
We won't
no,
do it.
time
But
out.
there's a lot of stuff around me. Will just suffice it to say, but I can't take that on the road. Well, could I take it on the road, Grace?
If
Right
we
behind Grace.
want to haul another truck,
Sorry, Teresa, you were going to say?
I can see right behind Grace.
right?
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and mind you, how much space is that? 4x4?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, and it's so I guess, like we're saying, is that when you're out there, have you found much that, Teresa, so far, you and Mike, as far as adjustments you've made in terms of, well, I mean, obviously, a lot of stuff you had to dispose of or put in storage, but on your day-to-day life, have you noticed anything that lessons learned?
No, I said we've been in an RV now living for 3 years. But I will say when we first moved in it, we hauled a bunch of stuff in, and within a month we hauled a bunch of stuff out.
Some of the same stuff?
Yes.
Oh,
You
ouch.
realize you never used it. Hey, I want to take a minute and welcome Bob's adventure.
Hey, Bob. Good to have you here today. He is Mr. Interviewer, isn't he, Teresa?
Speaking of interviews, I want to go back to something Teresa said earlier. She said that she was going to take a plane to Canada and be there for a couple months.
We wanted to get to that, yes.
Yeah, and I wanted to say, what part of Canada?
Nova Scotia?
Is that it?
Newfoundland.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
No fat? Newfoundland.
New-
Newfoundland.
Newfoundland.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, sure. Come
Am
on.
I?
Yeah,
What territory?
maybe not much.
All the way up. It's the farthest east coast of Canada, and it's just above New Brunswick and Nova Scotia.
Okay,
You have to
yeah.
ferry
Mhm.
from Nova Scotia over to Newfoundland. It's like an island out there. My
Yes.
were there. So
Yeah, we did look at that, and we had hoped that we could get up to Canada and do some of that island hopping.
How close did we get?
We got to the Acadia National Park in Maine. That's about as close as we got.
Oh, no, we got one place that's closer, honey.
What was that?
I don't know if I say the word, if you've ever seen the movie with Abbott and Costello, or the Three Stooges.
Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls. Slowly I turn, step by step. But anyway, yeah, Newfoundland is an awesome place. And when I was on a cruise ship, going up from, let's see, New York City to Quebec. We don't say Quebec. And yeah, so I got to see some of that area up there. And it's beautiful this time of year. You did good.
yes.
You're going to love it.
Yeah, we're this will be my third time there. So.
Oh, well, that's even better.
And what time of year do you go?
Well, we're going to go there every year, probably in the summertime.
Yeah.
But right now, because that's where our grandkids are. And
Mhm.
it's been a year because of COVID since we've seen them. And they just are releasing for grandparents, where grandparents can go now. So, and we don't know where we have to get approved in order to go in December. So we don't know if the approval, they said it can take up to 90 days. So it may not be then, but that's our plan. And, plans change.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, can we adopt some grandkids up there? We're trying to get in. Yeah, no, we feel you, because even our own grandbabies, Penny, if you're still out there watching us, we miss them like crazy.
Mhm.
This COVID has definitely shut down those grandparent hugs.
Very well said. But that's one thing about travel. Breaking down barriers with people that we haven't met yet and getting to see, like when Grace said, if we are on so many wonderful memories on the East Coast, or even like we said at Elko, Nevada, we didn't think we were going to see anything there that would have good spots in our heart. But for sure, when you meet other RVers, and Teresa, we can't wait to meet you and Mike and all the rest of you that are going to be going down to Quartzsite. That's going to be, I think, probably one of our holiday highlights, isn't it, Grace? We're due for a getaway. 2020 has been quite a year. And, when they say 2020 vision, well, if that's the case, I don't want my eyes open. Here, I'm going to get rid of my glasses. I don't need 2020
well,
vision
let's put
anymore.
This way. I'm looking forward to hindsight being 2020.
Oh, that, yes. The School of Hard Knocks, right?
Bye, the journey awaits. Thanks for coming by.
Yes, good to see you there. So have happy trails. And so I guess we had some things that might be on our agenda today, but Teresa, I don't know if we cut you off on things you were talking about your reorganizing. And so some of the things that you did find that you didn't need, sometimes they're small stuff. And we've had some things, well, if we're going away just for a weekend or things, we got all this stuff. But if we're going away for 3 months, we realize we have different needs. And so were there some like main items that you just realized you could part with, or you really wished you had?
No, actually, I mean, to me, it's kind of freeing getting rid of a lot of things. It feels so much. I do find with clothing, it's more of a layering, trying to learn a little bit more about layering. So some of the things I can wear in the summer, I can still wear in the winter, maybe just being able to throw different things over the top. So just trying to be a little smarter when I shop and buy things.
Exactly.
And shoes.
And asking yourself, do I really need this?
And me, I just wear like my Levi jeans. So, after about a week or a month, they just stand up by themselves. I don't even have to like put them down anywhere. They're good.
He's telling the truth. He's actually telling the truth. I have to tell a little secret. When you see my arms probably going like this, Michael has another channel where he teaches the game of bridge, and I help him with the comments. And what I do to get his attention is I kind of just go like this. And then he'll say something like, "I'll be with you in a minute, Grace," so that I'm not always interrupting him. So John is here, and he joins us on both of our channels. So I'm having all I can do not to go. me, pick me.
Yeah, we've certainly on our adventures and things is like, we're partway through the US, and if it happens to be something like headphones or whatever, that you realize you wished you had, they don't take up a lot of space, but eventually, you need that kind of box where you put your stuff in, and it's like, in my case, you've got too much stuff when you can't find 25% of it, would you say, Grace?
I know where everything I brought is.
And she knows where my stuff is, but
True.
I'm not so sure I always know where my stuff is. So that's where having a partner makes a big difference.
No, honey, having a woman makes a big difference, because that's what we do best. We find things.
Oh, that.
Right? Does everybody agree with me? Yes or no? I can find. Yeah.
But I'm with Dee. When I have an extra pair of shoes, if they get wet or something like that, but as long as I let them dry out at night, it's like they're comfortable tennis shoes. If I need to, I think we did stop by and buy some tennis shoes at a store or whatever.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
I'm not going for the style all that much. Do we have any dress up nights when we were out on our 3-monther?
No.
Maybe when we went to the casino a little bit, but not too much. No, we weren't into fashion statements.
Yeah. I guess the jacket we wore was considered dressing up.
Mhm.
There you go.
A jacket, that's right. There you go. But when we got to towards about the last couple weeks, and finally got Grace to the Grand Canyon. Yay!
I had never been there. It was so beautiful.
That was so good, and it was pretty cold. We thought, well, the North Rim we could have gone. It wasn't closed yet. It was getting towards that time of the year, but we said, well, let's just go to the South Rim. It's not as high. I think it's 8,000 feet on the North Rim and 7,000 feet. So at nighttime, it was freezing.
But
that
not
was for
as
sure.
cold as Bryce.
But not as I was going to say. But when we got to Bryce, well, they don't allow generators, no RV hookups. They don't allow generators after 8 p.m. And so that was where we found out our other layers of clothing, didn't we, Grace?
That's when we also found out that having a significant other is a good idea too.
Having what?
A significant other.
A significant other. And here's a good, for instance, I didn't bring along the 5-gallon propane tank, I don't think, but I didn't have the Mr. Buddy. So, it's like some people will get something like that out at night for the heat. And so it gave us a good opportunity to cuddle, didn't it? We did some cuddling.
You were my Mr. Buddy.
That's right.
My own personal Mr. Buddy. Now you're not going to be able to look at him.
Body heat.
What was that?
I said nothing like good old body heat.
Right?
Exactly. Yes, that was for sure. Boy, that reminds me of a movie with Tony Curtis. Remember that movie?
I think
The Great Race. And Natalie Wood, they kind of had this fondness going on. And okay, it got really cold when they were going up, over the Alaska, and they had to cuddle. It was like, oh boy, I was a teen boy. It was like, I got me kind of aroused. Okay, too much information.
TMI. Yeah, I always got to get that hook out for my husband. Bring it back. Bring it back.
Yeah, but I'm with D. It's like fashion doesn't matter, and if I've got a couple pair of shoes, I'm pretty much good to go. In fact, we do have a closet. We don't have a bath. Well, there is a shower there, but that's where our storage is gone. So we do the PTA cleanups.
Well, and we stay at some sites where they've got the showers. So
yeah, we do go to those. Yes.
Yeah, at least every week. A little bit more.
In fact, down at Quartzsite, if you're going to be down there for a couple of weeks, we just TA or whatever, one of those trucker places, and they have really, really clean showers. I mean, it's like they are so spick and span. And we did use those one time. And hey, community shower, why not?
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. At the gas stations. So that's exactly what we were talking about too, Teresa. Is the community and communicating with other people, how you share things. So what were some of the biggest things you've learned from other RVers?
Oh, wow. Actually, that's where I'm learning a lot about solar, and I've been learning about, like what generator, and even with from some of my watch about having gadgets that have multiple uses, instead of one use. Like I don't just need a corkscrew and a can opener or something. If I can find one that does both, then I just have one item.
A multi-purpose tool?
Right. There you go.
Like this. This has replaced how many items in your purse?
Mm-hmm.
Like the wallet too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's my purse. Wallet. It's my flashlight. It's my makeup mirror. It's everything.
I don't think I can remember what it was, Grace, but you had a couple things. You said if it doesn't have at least 2 uses, it's going to go. Do you remember what some of those items
were? I know that
were?
scared you, huh?
Oh, that's right. Hey, I'm a driver. I can drive too.
I said everything we bring into the RV has to have more than one purpose. Yeah.
Correct.
Except our dog.
Yeah. Except what?
Our dog.
Well, our dogs
Oh,
are half a
Or
dozen.
is it
But that's but yeah, it turns out that you've got some things that I don't know if it's tools so much, but if it's something that has one purpose and you may or may not use it, then it's like, do I need it for a backup situation? And there are some things that's maybe worth the insurance. I do have, in addition to the built-in generator, go figure,
Mhm.
another Honda generator. It's a 2K, and it's, I don't
Okay.
know, pounds, I guess, but I can fashion it. And as much as I don't have a lot of storage under the RV, it doesn't take up a lot of space. And I suppose it has maybe less than half the noise. So if it turns out you're at a spot where you want to be respectful for others, I just say, well, I can take out the Honda and use that for local things, as well as I don't really need 4 kilowatts for charging up the bike batteries. I'd rather use a smaller system.
Welcome, Gina. Glad to have you here.
Yeah, Gina, good to
Thanks
have
for
you. She's
having me.
in.
She's
Hey,
in.
Rocker, how are you, sweetie?
How are
Now, I
How
don't
are
think
you?
Grace has met you yet, so
I don't think officially have we.
yeah. No, I don't think officially you have. So
I know. I do think one night I was drinking with y'all.
that
But I don't know if that's official.
we wouldn't remember that. But
Right.
tell Grace where you're from, Gina, where you're at now, up in the good Northwest. Oh, she
Gina.
froze. Yeah, she's
Everybody freeze.
hold that pose. There she is.
I'm from Williams, Oregon. Southern
Oh,
How
Oregon.
about
okay.
that? And are you still smoky? Or are you less smoky today?
Well, it's less smoky, but
Less.
there must be some fires. I think fires between me and where they're at. So yeah, we've got smoke.
Wow. Well, we certainly hope the best for you there. I know that we had, what was it, about 2 weeks ago, I guess, when my mom had to stay with us for a week, Grace?
Yeah, she came Sunday and then stayed through this last Sunday. So she was here
Yeah.
for a week. Yeah, and I mean the fire pretty much was at the hill right below their community, so it was real close.
Yeah, about 40 miles north of us near Santa Rosa, about maybe 70 miles north of San Francisco. And it's been 4 years in a row, in this lovely retirement community. They have 2 golf courses. And it's just beautiful looking out towards the first tee from her back deck. And she's getting a little less sanguine about how beautiful the view is when you come back after a week and the utility companies turn off your electricity and your refrigerator and freezer are good luck. Everything's got to go. And maybe you save the refrigerator, maybe you don't.
Yeah. Like Michael said, 4 years in a row. I told him, I said, next fire
Right.
season, which apparently is starting now anywhere in August and September. I said, we are hopping in that RV and we're out.
There you go.
Not doing it again next year. Nope. Going
So,
back on the East Coast.
I guess, Gina, for you is that, it's like it's easy for you to have mobility. I mean, provided, you've got your vehicle in good mechanical conditions. How's your maintenance jobs been
Right.
going?
Good. I think she's ready to roll maintenance wise. It starts up on the first turn of the key, so that makes me happy.
Yeah, your starter
Okay.
you were having problems with last I recall, right?
Yeah, what was wrong is the guy that put the starter on the first time crossed the wire, and
Ooh.
he didn't realize it. I kind of figured it was a wired cross, so fixed it. So it's all good now. It starts up good, and I should be ready to.
I'm gonna turn my direction. I might have more light facing the other way.
Ah, that's
Oh,
much
look at
better.
this.
Look at that. It looks like studio lighting now.
Man.
Had to turn.
Movie starlet.
There you go.
But anyway, I guess, Gina, yeah, it's good to know when everything's running sound, and if you need to get up and go, whether having a push start, which is not very practical in the size of your rig, but yeah.
No,
So you got any trips
it's an
planned in the
automatic,
future,
so I
Gina?
couldn't push it anyway.
Yeah.
I want to go to a few places around here. before I head out. I mean, I've lived here for a long time in Southern Oregon, so I know everything here. But there's a couple of places I want to go, and then on the way down, I may go to Pahrump, Nevada, and visit Cindy Wheeler, and then on down to Quartzsite.
Oh, nice. That'd be a good getaway. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a bridge friend whose daughter lives in Pahrump, and it's a popular place, I guess. And then, yeah, this time of year, once it starts to get a little cooler, and I guess the next couple of weeks, I think most of the state's going to be pretty good. I mean, or it's kind of interesting. We were in the northern part of Nevada there at Elko. It's like, but once you get up to the Ruby Mountains, boy, what were we, about 7,000 feet ourselves, weren't we?
Yeah, we definitely took a pretty good climb going up there, and it even that area had burned the year or two before that in the national forest.
I
So
forgot about that.
yeah, there was a lot of
Mhm.
debris there. Once you got up past it, it was, I mean, the whole thing, the area was beautiful and things were starting to come back again. But yeah, even in the national forest.
Or how about Yosemite with their huge fires they've had?
Yeah, and the sequoias.
So yeah, it's good to have mobility. And so on that note, a couple of years ago was when the fires were, threatening around us within 10 miles away. We started like say, okay, Grace, focus.
Oh, we were packed and
If you've
ready.
got 15 minutes or half an hour, what are you going to want for the first 15 minutes to get things? So things started going up in the RV fast and furiously. And that's where you get to find out what is most important to you, is what you get in those.
Yeah.
And you may not remember to get the most important things like the jewelry in the safe or whatever you think it is. But my hard disks were among the first things to get, things that you consider that you use often.
Well, and it's funny because, like you were saying earlier about bringing all kinds of things into the RV and then taking all kinds of things out. Each fire season, the first fire season, I was loading up all our photo albums. Second fire season, I was like, no, we'll just have them printed again, loading up the disk drives. So yeah, it's definitely a new adventure. So Gina, do you have any thoughts on community and sharing with the people and with, from the van community or with the RV community, tips and tricks that you've learned?
Tips and tricks. Well, I heard you guys talking about fashion. I have fashion. It's called van life fashion. It's t-shirt and sweatpants. Way to go.
Okay.
But yeah, tips and tricks. I just try to keep your maintenance up on your vehicle if you're living in it. I mean, it's your home. And that's the thing. It's like whether you're on a budget or you got all the money in the world to spend, you still got to do your maintenance and stay up on that stuff. So
yeah, brakes and tires are pretty good investments, aren't they?
There's Troublemaker just walked into the picture.
Ooh.
I did. I'm ready for the night.
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with Troublemaker.
I'm Mike.
Mike, you don't know I've met Mike yet? Hey, Mike, good to see you.
Mike.
That's right.
Does Mike and Mike have the mic?
That's Grace.
Okay.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Hi.
It's nice to meet you.
And you know Gina.
I know
You've
Gina.
met Michael.
And I met Michael one time before.
We did. Although I feel like I'm without having my Canadian whiskey here, I'm feeling kind of a little bit exposed today.
I can fix that for you.
Grace can fix it. Yeah, we don't drink before 1 p.m., but it's 1:45 California time, isn't it?
So now, Mike, I heard that accent. Is that Georgia?
Yes, no accent.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, don't you know?
A little bit.
We're in South Carolina. There's mosquitoes. So.
Okay. Yeah. Now, South Carolina, the north end or the south end?
We're actually in the Midlands.
We're in the Midlands. We're right in the middle.
Okay, so we almost got as close as you. Well, you were saying you're about 5 hours away from Myrtle Beach.
Nope.
No.
Hour and a half.
About an hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
No, not 5,
okay.
yeah.
We need to go back there. Oh my God, you guys! How close are you to the water?
To like the beach
To
water.
the ocean. Yeah.
60
About
something
an
miles?
hour and a half. Right to the ocean.
Okay.
Okay. I went out in that water. Remember how soft it was, honey?
Yes.
I mean, I couldn't believe it. It was so soft. It felt like it had rinsed in Downy or something. It doesn't feel like our ocean here in Northern California. I loved it. So I want to go back. Do you guys snorkel?
Haven't, but I want to.
I know. Well, you're close to the Caribbean, or Caribbeans, whichever.
Yeah, it's going to happen. It's all part of what's to come. So
Right.
Mhm.
We should plan a caravan.
there you go. Yes, that would be cool.
That's a great idea, caravan, Grace. I
Down
like
to
that
the
idea.
Florida Keys or something.
Wow.
That would be a party.
Oh yeah, that definitely would be.
I'm all in.
Okay. Come
I'm
on,
there.
Gina.
Gina, hey,
Can you
I
bring
mean,
it?
from
I'm
Oregon,
there.
it's not that far, right?
You can bring
Well,
a couple
y'all
of
better come on out this way, and then we'll travel that way.
That I like. We start with
Yeah.
the left coast and we end up on the right. They're in the
There you
right.
go.
We give you that right coast.
Yeah, no, Michael and I had talked about a trip up to Oregon. In fact, that's what we were planning on doing this year, Oregon, Washington, and Idaho again. So I think that that's probably what we're going to do in the spring.
Yeah, but it's
Nice.
nice, in like what we did is go around the United States clockwise. So you leave in August and you go to the cooler northern states and stay in higher elevations if it's a warm spot. And then
Right.
you work your way down the coast and well, we were a little surprised. Some of the places we thought were going to be cool as it got to be late September, early October, and some of them are still pretty warm. Duh.
Yeah. We would head for like when we were at the Blue Ridge Mountains before that, when we were down in North Carolina, honey, or South Carolina. Nonetheless, it was going to be a really, really hot day. So we literally headed for the mountains,
Mhm.
to get away from that and go over the hill over to Tennessee.
Right. There you go.
It was 105 here for a couple of days this year.
Are you serious?
I'm
Oh,
serious.
5?
105, and
Oh.
I'm parked in the shade, and I used an air conditioner. It was still pretty warm, but
Gee, you think? Yeah,
it wa-
105.
that's not normal for here. But that was right before the fires. Right before the fires.
Yeah,
When we were talking about, where you learn tips and things, and I love to watch videos and you can go to websites where you can get tips. But one of the places where it gets a little bit hot is those who go to Burning Man. Now, I would never
Yeah.
want to take my RV to Burning Man.
No,
Is that,
they
the
might
silt
burn it.
and dust. Yeah,
Right.
but they have something. We know about Reflectex. We have enough of that in the RV when it's hot or cold. But Illuminet is, rather than having just a canvas or something like that, it's aluminum, but it does have like a lot of holes. It's kind of like a matrix, and when you put it over, it lets the air go through. And so,
Okay.
when it gets real hot there, I'm like, well, what do the people at Burning Man? What do they do?
Right?
Yeah, we want to do a show here, and we're in Petaluma, and we've got a couple of artists that are featured at the Burning Man, and do a show with the art that they created. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if I can show them. Well, I'll see if I can find a picture.
I might be able even to pull something up on one of my many screens here, but if you go ahead and do it there, darling.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah, as far as like ways to adjust to the heat, we're talking about that. When we got to, like, say, Washington, D.C., we weren't going to go to Washington, D.C., and we thought, well, the Smithsonian and, walking on the Capitol Square would be kind of cool. So, well, it was a warm day. But, it's we could get within about 30 miles and find we don't normally stay at KOA campgrounds, but hey, okay. Then we could take we took an Uber. That was my first Uber experience, Grace. I took an Uber to the Metropolitan Transit or whatever it was, and then we, hopped aboard, and it got us right down there to that area. But what about your Siberian Husky? I'd give me some Russian vodka and I'll be good to go. But otherwise, no, I do not want to be in the heat. So we stayed at a KOA campground and, just turned on the air conditioner for about 65. And he was a cool kitty that day.
Bob says he's seen the photo that I showed. I think her name is Evolution. Is that right, honey? Evolution?
I don't know what you're talking about there.
So she's 72 foot tall. So when you see her,
yes,
yeah, the art, yeah, it's beyond tall. It's incredible standing there.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'll see if I can pull that up.
So, what are your favorite places that you've seen that you would tell somebody if they were going across the country that they'd have to go see?
I mean, for us, going back, it's more like Yellowstone. We enjoyed.
Yeah,
we've been there a couple times. The Grand Tetons.
Grant.
Mount Rushmore, we did it once. We're not worried about going back there again.
Yeah, don't need to do that
but
no
we
more.
did it.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, like we love photos, but hey, after like 5 photos of the same
We were
thing, it's what are you going to get?
Right.
It was good for the kids when we took the kids with us.
Oh yeah.
But they
No,
could
it's
have experience.
definitely one of those places that you want to say that you have been to personally. I would
Yeah.
go back if I could do it on a night that there was no moon and I could do stargazing with photography and it would be in the way. So if it was something like that, I'd go back for the photo, but that's about
Yeah.
it.
Let me go to a screen here that let's see if I can navigate this. Well, of course not now that I'm saying I want to, but
Right. Well, this
if
is
I go to this screen
there
here,
we
and
go.
I'm going to go single screen for a second. Hopefully I can have you all back. Just hold on just a second until I go to single screen. And I need to get myself a little bit of a small guy here, but here's what Grace was talking about, that this statue that I guess was out. I don't know how they took it out and brought it back, but here it is.
Okay. And
Look at
actually,
that.
now you can tell how transient it is. It's
Yeah,
really,
well,
Isn't that incredible?
yeah. Wow.
Anyway, I think that's about it.
Yeah. So
But yeah.
anyway, you can see kind of the scale of how big it is. But the point being is that, yeah, Grace gets inspired by great photography, great videos, great things to see. So that's pretty cool, isn't it?
That was beyond.
It was.
So I'd go for something like that, but like Michael said, as far as taking our RV, I have no interest. And even our own camera equipment, I'd probably be like, can I rent a camera? Well, I don't know if I'd even want to rent one. I'm not sure what I'd do.
Yeah, you don't. Well, if it's a sealed camera, it's a little better. But you just when you're out in the boonies, you just have to go to Plan B, I guess, don't you?
Borrow my husband's.
That's right. Use your husband's camera. That's right. A GoPro, something that's sealed you can use underwater. Go for a GoPro.
Right.
Oh Lordy. So anyway, we're talking about the heat and the cold and things, and so a couple other stories for us is that we love to take out the awning when it's appropriate, but then when you hear about some of the winds that come up at night and rip them off, and that wouldn't be a lot of fun. But having shade, if you have some trees around, that's always great. But you get compromises. I'd like something that is in the shade. Well, maybe it's not very level, and how much leveling can I make up for? Some of the places we've stayed is that it's a challenge to get a level spot if you're on the move.
Yeah.
So when we were talking about tips and tricks, some of the different things that we learned on our trip going around, one of them that we enjoyed is like the Elks Lodge. If you're an Elks member, you can stay there for pretty inexpensive. So what are some of your go-to, if you're not quite sure where you're going to stay, what are some of your go-to ideas and options?
Ours was
For
basically
me?
camp. We did a lot.
Our go-to places, though, it's like they talk about staying at the Elks Lodge or something like that.
Yeah.
And one of the memberships we do want to get that we don't have right now is something like Harvest Host. There's several of those here.
Yeah.
On the East Coast side, but those are one-night stops. But
I know back in the
Elks Club, we enjoy the Elks Club insofar as that, the fellowship, I guess, men and women, so it's like, there are so many of them. They take you in as family. In fact, Grace and I were going to go on a New Year's down to, we thought maybe Santa Barbara, and then when we got to the Lompoc area, there was an Elks Club, and it was so interesting because you assume that the people in the RV park are all from out of city, out of Strait, but they had a group there that all of the local Elks Clubbers, they would just take their RVs and meet just at their local RV club, and they brought us in as family. And we weren't going to stay that second night, but we had so much fun with them. We just made a great experience. So it's nice when you can, however you find a virtual community to link up with other people. It really makes you feel good when you're out on the road.
And Mike, what were you saying?
I don't know about staying there, but the Elks Club here they're really nice people here. I used to pay good and they were friendly. You could go there anytime if you played in the band there on the weekends. It was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good because you love the music. I'm sure you got a lot to share also, Gina. And Mike, you were going to say
Well,
something about the Elks Club and some of the other places, Mike. So what else were you saying?
No, I was just going to say that back before we bought our first RV, we used to do a lot of tent camping. You know, we like to rugged, and it was nothing. It was nothing for us just to pull into a state park and throw a tent up, have a good time that evening, pack back up in the morning, on to the next one. You know, just keep on traveling.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we brought our kids up first, with the tent camping and everything. So that was interesting.
I remember those days when I was a boy. My parents, I was born in Minnesota. They moved to California when I was 7, thank goodness. But yeah, we did tent camping or just had a small trailer, and they eventually, got everything, a pickup camper and Airstream and, all over the board, small Class Cs. But they loved their Airstream of all the things. But
And then graduated to cruise ships.
and they graduated to cruise ships. Yeah, go figure. But yeah, so I think that, when it comes to different types of vehicles or just different things, I like some variety myself. And so when we were on the road, we got our all stays application out oftentimes, and well, honey, what's up the road? Start making some calls.
Yeah, all those. I mean, that's another thing we could talk about as far as sharing, and sharing is caring, as some of those apps. What were your favorite apps that you used for your trips?
No, right now for us, we're not. But some of the ones I'm looking really into is Campendium. I've been looking at a few places on there, kind of get some ideas of some of the places that we do want to go to, because I've heard a lot about that particular app.
Yeah, it definitely is beneficial to have multiple ones. And, there's some that Michael can find on his apps that aren't on mine, and vice versa. Some of the apps that I've been able to find locations.
Yeah, Campendium is one, I don't know if I heard about it, but I hadn't thought about it that much until I think it was at Quartzsite, and we met the people who were the couple. Well, they're not married, but they could just as well be. Yeah. They are so funny, and they do a wonderful job because, besides like the All Stays, I think is the gorilla among the apps, but the Campendium, it has something special going for it. It has tons of reviews by RVers. When we buy something on Amazon or wherever, we always end up looking at the reviews. And Campendium, they have such rich reviews that people, and I think the reliability factor is generally pretty good. So that's a big plus, because you hear some of these other sites like Our Village and RV Village, if you want to say it that way, and some of them that are more socially oriented. But yeah, if you want to get something that is, and when we go, if you're like us, not everybody's this way, but Grace, there's one thing she loves.
What?
Yeah, she loves to have internet connectivity. She's wants to be on Facebook or whatever. So, it has a lot of, how many bars of service do you have with AT&T versus Sprint versus whomever?
Right. John's asking a question. He says, with COVID, are campgrounds busier than before or less? More RVs on the road? And I can tell you from our perspective, we're finding our campgrounds a lot more busier than they ever have been. It's almost impossible to even get a spot anywhere near 100 miles to 200 miles, especially on a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys experiencing that as well?
Yeah, around here
definitely.
Right now, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are popular. Oh, go ahead.
I did notice last weekend we went to Myrtle Beach, and we drove by Camping World, and just their selections of the campers they had out there are real thin. And usually that place is, wall to wall, especially Myrtle Beach, because that's a big tourist place right there with RVs. But yeah, I think everybody's buying into RVs now. Everybody's buying them now. So
yeah, and especially with families, because all the places you used to be able to go, the movies, bowling, all the sport activities that the kids have. Now mom and dad are packing up the RV and getting them out in nature, which I mean, it's good for the kids, not really so good for all of us. But
Rally Creative Travel, thank you for your response too. Says seems to be more for Rally there. So that's good to hear. My sense is that, like I see people in the last week and they're saying, yeah, Yellowstone's doing real good now. And I guess maybe some have been scared away for fires, but Yosemite, good luck with that. So, some of the big places, you're just never sure what's going on, what people's thoughts are. But here in California, we've found that it's supply and demand. And some of the places like out at the ocean at Bodega, they just, well, okay, we're just going to charge twice as much. It's like,
Right.
what?
Right.
And, oh, you can't use the showers or anything because with COVID-19, like what?
yeah, and some of them have even actually tripled the rates, which, sometimes I guess it's product and high demand.
That's right. But, I'd say some states, I think Gina up in Oregon, other than the things with the fires, it's still, I don't think it's too bad there from what I've heard. What's your experiences in Oregon? Do you know, have you heard anything? I think her internet's kind of intermittent.
I was
Sometimes she's
just
got
reading
good.
that the forestry is shut down. Like, get on it.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh, that hurts.
Yeah. No, the forestry, the national forest, like the forestry, like some of the BLM is closed, some of it's not. Some of the campgrounds are open, some are not. They're starting to open back up now that the fires are over here. But for me, as far as traveling, before I came out to where I'm parked now, I could park anywhere in town and get away with it because of what I have. I kind of blend in with the, I could park anywhere and get away with it in town. But as far as boondocking out here and BLM right now, there's not a lot because of the fires that were here. So they're kind of holding off on letting people out. A lot of gold miners here that are not gold mining because of the fire danger. So it's a lot of stuff is shut down here.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that's it reminds me of, what was it, a month ago, your friend Robin, Grace, tell them a story about Robin and her trip off to the national forest.
Well, that one's kind of a sad story. She every year she'll do the tent camping for her birthday weekend. She'll go for and no cell phone service and just kind of shut down. So her birthday weekend rolls around. She's been stuck since March, social distancing, staying by herself. So her birthday comes, her best friend's quarantined. She's been quarantined. They're going to hook up together and go do their birthday trip. They get up there, they set the tent up, and they just started to put something, get it out to start cooking. And the warden comes by, or what is it called?
The warden, I like that. The ranger, the ranger, I think.
Warden.
They turned into a warden at that moment.
One of those law people. But anyway, they said, bye-bye, you got to go. Park's shutting down. So they had to load everything up, put their tent back. Yeah. And plus it took her 5 hours each way to drive up there.
And that was just like among a couple. But then after about 2 or 3 days, the whole California state forest system said, no, that's it.
Yeah. No, I think it was almost the same day that they shut down all the national forests
national,
and all the state parks.
Yeah.
Hi, Lucky Dog. Welcome back.
Hey, Lucky Dog made it here. Well, we said it would for some at 2:00. And Teresa, I got to say, you and Mike, thank you for sharing your spots so much. This means a lot to us. And you're never sure what's the good time of day, the sweet spot. But hey, we're the newbies, so we're just, we're trying, and I hope we look forward to your feedback in terms of to getting it right. But Grace, you're doing a great job on the moderation, by the way. I get busy chatting, and I have a good transmitter, but sometimes, Grace, is my receiver working that well? She giggles.
As long as we're in the dating process, right?
Right.
After that, it's the fire hydrant mode.
Drinking out of the fire hydrant. Oh boy.
So see, we had a few notes.
Oh,
here
we
of
do.
Different topics.
Can I just add one thing, sweetie?
Sure.
Just before you go, because you had really a good topic, and that is like say John asked about, well, is there easier to get spots or harder? And there's something I had on my notes there in terms of content. We oftentimes get started as that, how do you do something? What's the DIY, or, what's the best practices for stuff to buy on Amazon or whatever, what RV to get. And so there's an email. I don't know if you all subscribe to it, but I like having it come on Saturdays. I don't look at it regularly, but the Saturdays from RV Travel. Are you familiar with that? Do you subscribe to that email?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one. And as they've said, if you haven't found elsewhere, but they kind of keep up what's going on in the industry and the amount of demand, the amount of RVs that are being manufactured at
Mhm.
Elkhorn, wherever it is in Indiana. They've had more than 50% more than an average year, because of the COVID. A lot of people are wanting to buy. And if you've got something new, you want to use it. Sometimes, you buy something and you say, man, I've spent a lot of money for this thing and I don't use it that much. But, when you have something new, you want to use it. So I think that is as well as just people, if you can't work or whatever. Now, Grace and I, when we're just doing our local trips, we like to go out on a Sunday and come back on about Tuesday or Wednesday. Is that kind
Yeah,
of what
that
our
works
thing
good
is?
for us because it's easier to find a spot and it's not as crowded, when it's just the two of us. But if we want to bring any of the grandkids with us and they're only available on the weekend, right now I think everything is booked solid all the way through mid-November. And then you're kind of like, well, I don't want to spot in mid-November because it's probably going to be raining, and the kids won't be able to go out and play. So it makes it hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does. Yeah, I'd like to stay away from the weekends if possible. Enjoy the weekdays when there's nobody else, and all the campers and all that have gone home and back to normal life.
Yes. And the showers are available when you want to use them.
So definitely.
So yeah, it's good. I think, Grace, I wanted to get back to you now, but it's good to have, not only YouTube channels or Facebook groups or blogs, if you will, podcasts. We can talk about that some, but you had a way you wanted to go with this. Do you remember what you said, or if I distracted you sufficiently, you
Honey,
forgot what you were
the
going to say
squirrel
next?
distracts me.
The squirrel. So that's why I'm a squirrel, aren't I?
Well,
yeah, I know. It's true. Guilty as charged.
So, pardon me?
Oh, I was going to say there's a couple, and I don't know if you're on them on Facebook. There are a couple of the YouTuber community groups also on Facebook where you can share like your live stream and your videos with other YouTubers, so that they know, like Bob's Adventure. He has a site that he hosts. I don't know. I think maybe Blaine does with Really Creative Travel. I think like
Papa,
Tuesday with
Papa,
Horizons, Drew does.
yep.
And you're free to post your videos and live streams so that everyone in the community also, if they're not already subscribed to you, they can kind of go over there and see when you have something coming. So, and I did that for today, shared you out over there and on the community tab. So
did I. I shared them out over there too, and I shared you out on Reddit.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's so nice
Now
of you all. Because Gina, I think that she was the one who created, or she owns Reddit, because man, she gets a lot of traction on Reddit.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
yeah.
I don't know where.
But we can't have a community channel. We're just kind of the new kids on the block, because you have to have where you're monetized with your 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours a year. I guess we have plenty of hours.
Is this
but,
where we do an ask? Because
no, we do not do ask. Yeah.
Okay,
We just imply, sweetheart, is how we do.
okay. Well, we're at 611, but if we get
But who's counting?
what is that? 89? 289 more. No,
289.
389 more.
Oh, what's numbers when you're
Right.
counting? But we'll get there. We're gonna have to, you all, we're learning from you, and so we look forward to kind of doing these live streams now. It was I got to tell you a little backstory here. So I do, as Grace said, my bridge hands. I teach the card game of bridge, and at first, 12 years ago, it was, you get a website, and then like, oh, now there's this thing called the WordPress blog. Oh, okay, and there's podcasts. Oh, a podcast. I'm good with audio. I had worked for the telephone company for 30 years. And then it got to be video. Well, I had, cameras for photos and videos, but I've got to face the camera towards myself. It's like gulp. But then, eventually it got to be where the live streaming started coming out, and it's like, in real time, I can't edit. Well, that's going to be a challenge. But eventually, I got the gear, and so we're looking forward to when we get on the road is doing some of this too, don't we? Like I'm sure, like Gina, you kind of are rock star as far as being, out in the sticks and yet still doing a fantastic job with just the gear that's necessary.
Yeah, I really like this.
I'm
layout.
lucky. I'm lucky.
Well, Gina's got a secret weapon. She's got her cat. Is
Yeah.
your cat around?
I got 5 cats. Which one do you want to say?
Well, your black and white one is the one that's normally your star.
Yeah, he's sleeping.
Okay.
Wasn't
But,
that what cats do like a lot?
yeah, they're smarter than some of us.
Right?
Yeah. They allow me to live with them, so I'm on that sleep mode too.
That's what we say too.
Dogs have owners, cats have staff.
I'll be back.
And they're great weapons. If somebody walks in, all I got to do is throw a cat at them, so
Was that for
it's
me?
all good.
That's right. A cat weapon. Yes, that's right.
Throw a cat at them.
Here, catch while I run.
That's right. Yeah. Here comes
If she
10
don't get
claws your way.
I pack 5 cats. So yeah.
Wow, that's 50 claws.
Right.
Well, they have their personalities, and I think that's
they
so
do.
wonderful to have where the interactions between them as well as with you. But, Grace, she thought at first, I'd like another Siberian Husky. And I said, well, that would be okay. But then the relationship will be more between the dogs, not with us. And she's like, yeah, we're selfish that way. But cats, I think they're just naturals for, having multiples because they like the social
I
interaction
get a lot
so
of
much.
questions. Do they travel good? To me, they travel really good because they're adaptive. They adapt well. These guys, well, mine do. They adapt really well to going down the road or being parked or going out in the tent or whatever. They adapt to it and they make it home wherever I'm at. So that they're adapting to it.
That's so nice because I guess it's kind of relating to us as we all have, if you want to say our tribes, there's a saying that goes that we're the average of the 5 people we spend most time with. And that if it's a pet, says, oh, Grace, look what she's doing. What you got, Grace?
Well, sometimes I forget my cats really don't understand what I'm saying. I talk to them a lot.
Oops, sorry. There you are. There he is. But our pets are certainly a big part of our travel, and we couldn't imagine traveling without our pupser wherever we go. So if it's some kind of exclusion, then okay, we're going to, look at this. She's doing her doggy tricks now. Do you do some tricks too, Grace?
No, but you do.
Oh, I do. Okay.
That's our 5
Give him a
That's
treat.
what I
He'll do a trick.
That's right.
Exactly.
So anyway, yeah, it's good to have our pets, and yet I guess that there is a time when the pets. There's I don't know if you've ever heard this joke. I think that's okay to tell, but it's like the theologians are getting together. When does life actually begin? And the Catholic goes first. So I know the answer to this one. It's at the moment of conception. In fact, once the act of love is made, it's all in God's hands. And that's when life is beginning. It's like, oh, okay, thank you. So they ask the Protestant, and he says, the pastor says, well, when the birth, the fetus is viable, life has begun, and this is when life begins. And then they looked at the rabbi and they said, when does life begin? What's your thoughts on this? He says, he says, when the pets go to heaven and the kids go off to college, that's when life begins.
Right. Exactly.
Now, what about Mike and Teresa? Do you guys have any pets that you're traveling with?
We have one, and that's the snorer, Winnie, who likes to snore. She's old, so usually she's just at our feet. unless it's 5 o'clock. Like a few minutes ago, she was barking because she lets us know at 5 it's time to feed her.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so you have an organic alarm system, don't
Right.
you?
No, they really do have a time clock in them. It's amazing.
Well,
Cats too.
the campfire is nothing without Winnie's snore. If you'll listen
Yeah.
to the campfire, you'll hear the
Yeah.
snore.
Mhm.
It's
Okay, so
the hook to the
Yeah.
campfire.
On snoring, Michael and I, as you guys know, he likes to stay up late and I'm usually sleeping. So I get up early. So I'll go upstairs and drink my coffee and, get on my phone. And for the last week or so, I keep hearing a whoo, whoo. And I'll get up and I'll look out the window. We've got a big oak tree. And I'm looking for an owl. And every time I sit back down, whoo, whoo. So this morning I went down to huh?
This must be a story about that one.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
Guilty
Yeah.
as charged.
Guilty. I knew it. That guy right
I
there.
went down and there he was.
I don't know if I dream about owls. I never think about owls in my waking hours, but I'm not sure what's up with this.
Doing this while
The wise owl, honey. That's what I am.
Yeah, that would be you. That would definitely be you with the little graduation cap on.
Yeah, and I do hoot with the owls at night. It's true.
Yeah, you're the night owl. I like that. That's perfect. No wonder you're making those noises.
He's a night owl. There you go.
That'll be a new handle.
I used to go to bed early, but YouTube has ruined me. YouTube has ruined me for going to bed early.
Our
Yeah.
neighbors right behind us, they have chickens and roosters. And these roosters go off at about 4:30 in the morning.
Oh Lordy, 4:30?
Nice.
4:30 in the morning. When I get up and walk, I might drink my cup of coffee before I go to work. They're already going at it already.
Yeah, I've seen threats of death for that on Facebook when people get woke up at 4:30 and 5 o'clock in the morning by their neighbor's rooster. They're like, I'm going to go say hello to those people. Yeah, no, but I like the morning noises, even the whoo, whoo.
Well, my
my dogs
cats
have
run
always-
all night. My cats run back and forth in the van at night. You can hear them
Yeah.
run in the
Oh,
van at night. I
huh.
mean, they're loud running in the. Well,
do you think
one of
it's partly because it's cooler weather, Gina, or why do you think?
Oh yeah, the weather's gotten cooler. Last night you could hear them running from back and forth. two of them weigh 20 pounds or more, and when they run, the van moves. And so yeah, they were running from the front and jumping and hitting the back door, and then running back to the front. And I'm usually the springboard in between. They'll hit me and hit the back door. So.
Lucky Dole, honey, you got a button for that?
Yes, I will,
Hit
and
the
I've
button.
just got a note. Okay, here it is.
Dude, you just nailed it.
That's it.
Yeah.
And he actually did say when I came down, and I told him, and it kept saying, whoo, whoo. And I said, I came downstairs, so Kaliki did it?
Yeah, because I thought it would be more like me. I've always been a dog whisperer. I thought it'd be like, what? She said, no, it was not that. So it's obviously the late nights have been
Yep.
subliminally getting to me.
I have a new name for you.
I see she says Bob gets up at 4 a.m. every morning or earlier if Lacey starts jumping on him.
Yeah, that'll get you up.
Aw.
That'll wake you up. Nothing like a cat or a dog jumping in the middle of you.
Or the
Mm.
bladder.
Yeah.
So if I can segue for just a second here, I want to go back to the pets. It's a great story, but I did want to get to Therese earlier. She was talking about Campendium, and I think I can get myself out of the way here. There we go. So, I just kind of logged on. I was thinking of Gina, and there's like Sisters Oregon I put in. And, one of the things that's nice, you can see right off the bat, there's like a nice 4-star at Forest Road, 1605, a 4-star, no cost. And so, that is really nice. And then when you click on them, and you start to see, a lot of people have these wonderful photos. So if you're interested in, what does the vibe feel like, or you start to see all this other information. Oh, it's 3,100 feet, open until November. It's a gravel road, 60 spots. And, then you get into the actual views. Look at here. Looks like it's got 4 stars with Verizon, confirmed by 7 users, and about the same with AT&T. And so, the All Stays and Campendiums are 2 really awesome applications to think about.
Are those updating now during COVID?
Well, people enter, yeah. So I could update, when we go somewhere, yeah, I can, or even some that somebody's been to, and if I have comments on those or photos, I can add them today.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, during the time when there's fires and they shut down the national forest, is that automatically updated, or somebody has to manually say it's closed because of the fires?
Well, you take a look for the most recent reviews, I guess. But yeah, if you're saying is that if something happened yesterday or a week ago and nobody's made a post on it, then you'd still want to go to the actual website to be sure that you're in synchronicity. So anyway, I just wanted to get that, Teresa, is that we love some of these if we're just on our iPhones, because we're oftentimes, our way of travel is we're just kind of spur of the moment. Although we did learn when we got to the Smoky Mountains, if you're going to go to a national park and it happens to be a Saturday and you're just going to be a walk-in, good luck with that. If it's, you might want to be there at like 1 PM when they open it up.
Nope.
So tell them about what happened when we got there at like 4 PM after the rainstorm.
You just have to wish, that's all.
No, Grace was the breakthrough on that.
No, it was pretty cool because that was Shenandoah National Park, and it takes a long time to get up there, So we went for it, and it was about 4:00 when we got into the park, and it's raining. We're like, "Do you have any spots?" And the lady's all, "Nope, sorry, nothing available. We're all booked up." And I said, "Well, is there any other place nearby?" She said, "I doubt it." She said we had a spot. And they were packing up for the rain or something.
They had a hole in their tent.
They had a hole in their tent. She said, but I just gave it to this guy because he was doing the, help me out here, honey, Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, Bob was his name. Right. He's a pharmacist.
Exactly. And so she'd just given him the camp spot, and all he had was his backpack, and so I told him, I says, "We've got salmon for dinner if you let us share your spot."
Oh, wait a second. It was like this. Grace is like batting her eyes. "Hi, big boy."
It was a salmon, honey. It was a salmon.
I thought it was your blonde hair. Whatever it was, it worked.
It did. It worked. And so we not only got to, we not only got to share the spot, but we had a wonderful conversation with them, and we got to learn a lot about the traveling on the trail. Yeah,
when you a super lightweight kind of guy, which he was.
Yeah.
But you're always like us, you got to be charging your devices. So you do have a backup battery for your cell phone, but and then the thing of water, I can't remember what the name of the app is that all of the big time backpackers have, but you want to know where water is. You're not going to carry, 10 pounds of water with you. So fascinating guy. He was so friendly, and you're just really nice and heartwarming when you meet people on that. But generally, we're a little bit better prepared when we pull into someplace.
Oh yeah, and weekends. I think a lot of times the elks were usually available on the weekend. I don't remember really having any other problems on the weekend.
That seems right. Yeah,
the national park system.
Yeah, in fact, I was looking at different podcasters, and I thought, we look at some like the Wendelins and a couple, but not too much. I mean, it is nice when you don't have internet and you just, have some podcasts that are loaded, or maybe listen them into the RV as you're going down the road. But I did see one person's site that, they load up the Google Maps, which they share with others, and hundreds, I think also thousands, some of them have, with all the different campgrounds and things, with the GPS coordinates, the latitude and the longitude. And it is kind of incredible how people share their good information they have on where to stay.
We want to go ahead and welcome our destinations.
Hey, I use on apps. On apps, I use the Dirt and
the Dirt.
Yeah, the Dirt, DYRT.
I don't know that one.
And look Free Roam, and Free Roam is a good one too.
Oh, okay.
What's the scoop?
I mean, I've only used them a few times around here, and they show a lot of spots. I don't know of how up to date they are. I mean, I haven't used them as going to them, but I was told about them from other van lifers. Because for van lifers, it's a little different. A lot of van lifers are still working, and they just go out on weekend trips and stay in town, during the week. So it's more of a van lifer app, I think, kind of.
Yeah, it is nice to have the different, sometimes to be able to have one that takes care of like the bigger picture, and then other ones that take care of the more narrow networks.
When I head down to Quartzsite, I'm just going to drive just the main way down, I think, or go when I go to Nevada and just stay on the main roads or pull off to the side or stay at a truck stop, whatever. Because I've seen most of this country in this part of the area, and I've seen most of all of the country. I drove truck, but I never got to stop at a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
So Colorado,
some of that
state
also.
I want to explore, and Colorado's a big one for me.
Yeah, I can't wait to do Colorado. That one's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
It's sometimes I'm so glad that he can check everything out and not, kind of calm my nerves, because I get to be the nervous Nelly and going into some of these areas. And our RV is not that big, but I'm so afraid, what if we get on a road where, it's narrow and you can't pass and there's cliffs and drop offs. So I'm glad he's a negotiator there.
Do you want to tell him that story?
Story number 74.
Yeah, 74 it must be.
Yeah, that did happen to us.
74 part 1.
It was Siri's fault.
It was Siri's fault, she says.
It was Siri's fault. I asked for directions, and I think it was called Gold Rush, or
I think that's right.
Gold. It's up in the hills of Sacramento where the 49er Golds were.
The Sierras, going towards Reno.
So we're following the directions, and he even asked me, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's saying turn left and keep going a quarter of a mile. The whole thing. And so finally we get to this narrow bridge that looks like it might have been built for horses and buggies.
It's got no rails on it.
Rails.
It's about like maybe 10 feet wide, and it's got some planks that are about like a foot wide where your tires are supposed to be on. And it's like, it says it'll take 10 tons and we're 5 tons. So I don't know, Grace, if this is what we got to do. Well, her son and grandson were in the back seat, and her son says, "Well, I'll get out and I'll guide you." And no, we're all going down the ship together.
Now, mind you, my son is 6'2" and has always been Mr. Macho. He literally was buckling his kid in like with 26 buckles, and he's sitting there going. And then after we got through it, my son said, "He's got bigger balls than I do." But then we had to do it again because we got to dead end.
And I mean dead, it wasn't like 20 feet wide. It took about 15, 20 minutes to turn the RV around. It was like interesting.
Yeah.
And then do it all again.
Well, we stopped using Siri after that.
That's right.
Only thing I use Siri for is jokes. I get some good jokes off Siri.
We hadn't thought about that, had we, honey?
That's all I thought about with Siri.
Grace does most of the things with her good friend Alexa.
Yeah, right.
Alexa.
We could say it, but she'd start responding. She would start acting up. Yep, I talk to her all the time. But we've got one now for the road. Michael hasn't hooked it up yet.
True. Yeah, we do have one for because you kind of like, I wouldn't say it's your best friend, but it's way ahead of me in terms of.
That's why he hasn't hooked it up. I talk to her more than I talk to him.
True.
Yeah, but she entertains me, honey. She's my timer in the kitchen. She tells me jokes. She does everything.
Well, and certainly music.
Music.
When you have some of your music channels, and so Grace has a percentage, not a big one. Her mom's side may have come across the Mayflower, but on her father's side, not only Hispanic but also Native American Indians, and so she loves to have. What kind of music do you like?
I just tell her to play Native American music. And
it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's very calming. It's like a good cup of Zen.
Yes.
So when we're watching her grandkids for a couple days, and I think they're disciplined at school well enough, but when they're around with Grandpa and Grandma, it's like Good
Crazy.
luck with that. So she puts on the Native American music when it's their school time.
It was actually like an experiment. You know, I felt like they should be behind a plate of glass where we were just watching and observing, because these two hoodlums, exactly. Yeah, they literally just were communicating. We were doing rock painting, and they were painting. My 10-year-old grandson, he's all over the place, and he gets like really frustrated really quick if things aren't working. He not only did his rock painting, but he drew it out first. And I was like, wow, this music is like a drug. So just if you got hyperactive grandchildren, Native American music, that works really good.
Good to know.
I got some cat common music that works really good on me.
I was thinking that as she was saying it, Gina. Yes.
Cat calming music?
Yeah, I found it on YouTube. They have it for dogs too. It's more of a low
Wow.
tone piano sound, but if I turn it on, it kind of puts me to sleep sometimes.
You know, it's interesting how people that get into this neurolinguistics, where there's different frequencies of notes, is that part of what's going on there? You know, like hum, you know, like, you know, the chant or whatever. There's, I guess somehow it has an effect on, I suppose, pets too.
Yep, it does. And all the music on there, it's all piano music, but it's lower tones, lower keys. So they go right to sleep to it usually.
Now, Gina, Michael tells me that you're in a band. What instrument do you play?
Oh, I'm not in a band now, but I used
Her
to
voice.
be. No, I don't sing very good. I'm a guitar player.
Oh, electric or acoustic?
I sing, I just don't sing good. And,
Right, me too.
but I'll sing.
I
I don't
sing
care.
all the time.
I don't care. It's not me suffering. It's everybody else when I sing. So it's all good.
Yeah, I tell everybody that I invented karaoke. Went to a
Yeah.
bar one night. I started singing. They said, karaoke, butt on out of here.
Yeah, carry on. I've done
Yeah.
karaoke once, but luckily there was 5 of us singing it, so it worked out good. I just didn't sing loud.
Right. I've done that before, or I'll mouth it.
I'm good at air singing. I'm great at an air band. I can play air drums. I play air
I'm
bass.
good at air guitar.
I'm good at
Yeah.
faking that. I can lip sync to anything.
Are you playing something?
Do you like my
Renee?
background music here? Just kind of calming.
Yeah,
Which one is that?
I have a account with audio and some others too, but I have a lot of royalty-free music, and this one is Bellflowers.
Yeah, I watched your video on your copyright violation, and you went and challenged it because it's that music that you had already bought and paid for years ago. That was pretty good.
Well, thank you. Yeah,
It's frustrating.
it is amazing how you know, you think you're legitimate, and you know, this content ID in YouTube. I realized that after having a $1 billion lawsuit from Viacom, is that, you know, they need to protect their assets. So, but you know, the system, the way it works, you know, I guess their philosophy of their company is do things that don't have human involvement, so that you know, they can maximize shareholder value, if you want to call it that. But when the robots, you know, kind of like say, well, Grace had one from a friend. She's what they call a Band-Aid, I guess she calls herself. You know, and we can go to a concert and she can get hundreds of thousands of views from Adele, and she can't monetize those. But tell them a little bit about that, Grace.
What, as far as the videos?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it doesn't frustrate me whatsoever. I'm not the one singing and busting my butt to perform, but it is pretty cool because on the channel it's Rose Queen 49, and I've had that, I don't know, maybe 12 years now. And we went to go see Adele, and we used Lumix camera to do the video, and you could see the nostril in her hair, you know. So those have been watched and viewed probably more than 1 million times, and I think that my channel there has like 12 or 13,000 subscribers, and I don't even do anything except put other people's music up there. You know?
What?
Yeah. But I don't try to, you know, I mean, I'm not going to obviously even attempt to monetize it. They're the ones doing all the work. So the way it works is if her label claims it, they don't do a copyright, they just claim it. So anybody watching it, all the pay goes to them. So that's fine with me. Yeah, that's how you promote music.
So I could have a channel and play just music from other people, and I wouldn't care.
Not their songs, not the like if you did a video and you had their songs in the background, but when you go to a concert, they can though do a takedown notice on you, and they can also do a copyright on you. most don't, because most realize that you're helping them. And if they do anything at all, they just claim it,
I think it works like this. This is just my thoughts. You could get a band that Grace like say Milk Carton Kids, and when they're small, you're helping promote them. Her friend we talked about, Robin, is like really got to be close to one of them, and everything's cool. But then at some point, they're kind of like they're more into syndication, and they get an agent to help represent them, and that's where the rules change, because the agent might say, well, we're going to monetize that stuff. Hey, fine. Or it might be she had one that wasn't as large and did a takedown and she had a lot of videos from this person she was promoting. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, here's 3 strikes.
Right,
So YouTube is
strike.
saying within like a day, as they're telling her channel, it's got to go away. So she got back to the person. And what's the rest of the story?
Well, she's a really awesome person. I won't say her name, but she worked really hard and diligent to pull the strikes down, because all she was trying to do was to get us to do it private. But the way she did it, she wasn't sure how she did it. So she worked really hard and got my channel back up for me. So I give her massive kudos for that. She just asked me to make them unlisted because she was putting out a new CD of all her greatest songs, and she wanted people to buy the CD, not go to YouTube and hear them for free.
Right.
So if you do a video, so say I'm just going to do a live video unlisted and just a few people hang out, I could play any music I want and then take the video down.
If it was unlisted, probably.
Well, it turns out no. If you have it, believe it or not, it's not listed. If you even have it private, the content ID is still going to do its thing, and so you should. Well, I shouldn't get like
But what if I take it down as soon as what if I don't let it?
No, if it's something that's going to be over about 5 seconds where content ID latches onto it, and you say, well, how about if I change this? I'll make it so it's really low amplitude. It'll get it. If it's something that maybe I'll change the speed. It's going to get it. So, yeah, you don't want to mess with YouTube.
Well, and I think though too, the difference is if you're trying to monetize something, you definitely don't want any kind of a copyright.
No monetization, just a
but
private.
I do it all the time. Like, well, if you go to Rose Queen 49, I do a whole bunch with my grandkids, and I've got songs playing in the background, and I don't have any copyright.
But here's the trick.
But
let me just say one thing about that.
All of it.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Gina.
What I'm saying is, say the video right here is private. It was just us. As soon as we were done, they just erased the video. Can you still get it in trouble?
Yeah, if they get like 10, 15 seconds, that's all they need, and it doesn't sound right. But yeah, well, here's the workaround. What Grace was saying is like right probably most of the time, but you need to know the exceptions. So if you happen to be where you say, well, I would like to play ABC recording, Van Halen, let's say Van Halen.
Yeah.
I don't know what Van Halen's agency would do, but I would find out, because I would go on YouTube and I would search for Van Halen. And if I don't see anything out there other than from Van Halen company, their producer, I would not tempt it. But if you see a lot of other people are doing it, and obviously then their agent is say, well, we want the monetization. And you say, well, that's cool. I never wanted to make money off of Van Halen anyway. But if it turns out you say, well, I'm going to do Michael Jackson. Good luck with that. I don't think that
the Eagles are really strict too. Now they have people hired just to look for their stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is what I'm saying.
Eagles are very, very on it with that.
Right. So my recommendation is, if you want somebody else's music or video, it doesn't really matter. Be sure that you know what their rules are. And I got to say this, sorry, for today, because they might change a year from now and all of a sudden say, well, Grace did. She had her friend that she had her music for how long? A year? A couple of years?
Oh, God. 5
years, and everything's fine. Everything's fine. All of a sudden, she gets 3 copyright strikes. Her YouTube account is shut down and
gone.
Fortunately, she knew the person, and they were sorry that their agent or whoever did it. So just be a little bit aware that it's kind of.
I just wanted to know if you could use it private in a private video that's nobody's going to see except maybe 10 people.
It
and
only
then
makes
just
sense
take
it
it
should
away.
be that way.
But-
No, but that's not the way it works. Doesn't matter if it's
Okay,
private.
what Michael's saying is that can happen.
Right.
It's
right.
not likely that you'd get in any trouble whatsoever. You know, I mean,
I don't
if
wanna
you,
take a
if you
chance.
rolled the dice and you went with the odds, I would say the odds are like 1 in 1,000 or more. You know, that if you pulled it down, no, they're not going to care. You know,
Right.
and again, if you're not monetizing it or anything like that.
Yeah. So
Well,
here's the
I do
deal.
I have a video that's in private of a young man that I had come in as a big ordeal. He was being
Oh God, I want to know. She's frozen.
She's frozen. Wait, Gina, don't freeze on us. She's leaving us hanging, darling.
Are
That's,
you here? Am I here?
Yeah.
Now we're back. Go ahead. You say
Okay,
a young
so-
man. Say it.
I was live at midnight my time and just told his story real quick. He played a song. It was a song done by somebody else. It wasn't his song. I still have that in my private videos, but no problems ever came with it when I monetized.
That's completely different. You can do it as long as you list it as a cover version. Then there's no problem.
Really? So I could
Yes,
come
I
on
could-
here.
I
If
could
I
sing-
came on here onto one of my videos and played, say, a Van Halen song, and I put in the bottom song is owned by whoever, but I'm just doing a cover for it, I can play that?
I say it all the time, and I know a whole bunch of musical artists that do covers all the time.
Yeah, I found
So-
a cover band yesterday that's doing great covers of all different kinds of bands. It's a girl singer, amazing singer. But I was just wondering, how do they have so many subscribers and so many hits that they're not getting in trouble because it's other people's songs?
Just use that word cover.
Cover.
To cover.
Got it.
It actually, technically, it's called sync license, a synchronization license, but just a little bit about the system. So the content ID normally uses the digital signature. And if you try to modify it some, it's close enough to still catch it. But if it happens to be a jingle, here's one you probably heard before. Happy birthday to you.
Yep.
So if it's something where it's recognizable in the artificial intelligence, it can still catch some of those things, not as many, because at least not with my voice. They're never going to catch it probably. But it not only the digital signature, but if you look at the YouTube rules, they can also catch them if it happens to be a reasonably close lyrics.
I
So
pulled
don't
down a
know.
video.
It's all very complicated.
I pulled
think
down a
it's-
video because it wasn't a strike, but it was like couldn't monetize it because it was for Beyond Beauty's birthday, and it had Happy
Mhm.
Birthday in it. So I just pulled the video out because it said no way, you can't use it.
Yeah,
Right.
that
I
one's
just took it out.
really. I know you have to know which ones are danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
So where were we, Grace? We have some great conversations here. Did we, in terms of our content, communications, and networks, did we get all those discussed? Or
Well, Bob's Adventure says I had it catch me more than one time on my singing videos. So, Bob, you're saying that you yourself were singing a cover for somebody else and got in trouble?
catch me? Yeah, it depends how you define catch me, doesn't it?
Yeah, they'll never catch me if I sing a song for somebody.
No, me neither.
Everybody will they'll be turning down their speakers so quick.
Yeah,
Even the AI will be turning down its speaker.
So even if you're not monetized, you don't want to be monetized. Even if you don't care about being monetized, you just do this for fun. You can still get in trouble for playing somebody else's
Oh,
song.
yeah. And a lot of people think that too. You think, well, I'm not making any money off of it. And maybe, I suppose from another company's perspective, it's like, but you're taking our intellectual property, our copyrighted material, and you're maybe growing your channel, Gina.
But how
it's
do they
like,
pull a clip?
are you not controlling the band? Because maybe what you're doing is your audio isn't as good quality as what we would do. And, so a company like Kleenex, it's like we all pass me a Kleenex. Well,
if I took a
if a company
sample,
like that
if I
doesn't
took a-
protect their, go
if I
ahead.
took a sample of Van Halen and put it into a rap song with just a sample, a clip of a sample, and it's note for note sample, is that still a copyright claim?
Yeah, if it's note for note, yeah. Even let's say you do an instrumental version, it
Mhm.
could possibly be caught. Yes.
Well, to play in clubs here, the band has to play ASCAP It's like it used to
Right.
be.
ASCAP is a good for instance. Yeah.
Yeah, $25 a night per person. Every night we played, we had to pay that. But I
Mhm.
mean, we were
Oh,
making more
that
than
makes
that.
sense.
But so and it's for the bar. That's what the bar is getting charged for us to play any song we want.
That makes I have heard of that before. I'm glad you were here, Lucky Dog. Good to see
Thank
you.
you, Lucky. Sorry, we got off on our little tangent here. It's a little insight on us for producers, but thanks for coming by.
And we're gonna start wrapping this up because there's another stream coming on
Like
here.
Teresa, when does yours start?
Well, I don't, because gave y'all my slot, because I won't be doing that. But BB3, Beyond BB3 comes on, and I do have the link geared up to do a raid from your channel to hers.
Yeah, sure. If you want to share the link, we'd love to do that and see who's coming up next. Keep this community going.
There you go. That's the link in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Ah, there it is. I see it.
So she's next in line, and then you follow those channels if you want through on the night. It'll take you right on through the community shows. So
Awesome. So one of the things we didn't talk about yet is this last 10, 15 minutes is I know that we obviously talking about YouTube, and you go to some of these other channels and they may not have equivalent of content ID. You might be just fine doing whatever you want to put over there. That's a whole nother story. But I suppose as most of us, when we're away, well, if we're at a spot where it's an RV site where they have hot spots, I suppose we can use the Wi-Fi, although so often, as they don't have that much bandwidth. Yes, we have Wi-Fi. That's the good news. Bad news is it's super slow. Can't watch a video. And so we oftentimes use our cell signals and from AT&T, Verizon, Visible, T-Mobile, whomever. How have you all been doing in terms of your successes with your cellular when you're untethered?
not, and we were going to ask the question what you might.
Oh, we'd be happy to share.
He'll be happy.
Sharing is caring.
do.
Well, the latest box that I got was oh, look at there's my favorite puss.
Oh, really?
Well, I know last time I said that to Gina, I got busted in the chop on that too. But no, so the latest thing that we got was the MoFi 4500 router, and I'm just in the process of hooking it up. But I'm going to put a Verizon chip in there, the SIM, which is $25 a month or $40 if you don't have a family type of arrangement. And supposedly, it's got good speed. A lot of people say you can get 15 megabits speed up and down, and you don't have a limit. If you go in the MoFi router, there's one setting which is called the TTL, the time to live. And this person called Selly Training, I won't take credit for what he knows, SELE Train. I'm going to go ahead and put that in. So SELE Training. And if you search for Selly Training and MoFi, you'll see all of the things. And he's so good. He offers all his training for free. He's a really technical guy. But basically, when you set the TTL to 65, then I wouldn't say Verizon, because I think they've got this problem workaround fixed. But on Visible, you can then it says, oh, you're streaming from a TV or an iPhone. You're streaming, so even if you're doing internet uploads or live streaming, it seems to let it get by. And so some of the people that are heavier users do that. I do have a contract I got from Verizon and AT&T, the more business oriented, where you can have unlimited. When I say unlimited, if you go to 1,000 gigabytes a month, they're probably going to say, no, something's wrong here. But if you keep it under 400, 300 to 400 gigabytes a month, which is more than most of us would ever need, you're okay. So some people do that for about, $80 to $100 a month. And it may take a month or so before you can get that arrangement hooked up. But basically, you're taking a new SIM chip that you get from these people that are reselling somebody's commercial accounts on a grandfathered clause. And so that's the workaround. We last year, right, Grace, when we were on the road, we used your AT&T plan, and what happened?
Okay, we left August 3rd, and I'm starting to get notifications like August 7th that I'm almost out of my
Be right back.
network. I have 30 gigs, and then they roll over if I don't use them. I'm on a grandfathered plan. So we left with like 38, and within a week they were gone. Yeah,
Right.
so that's when Michael started looking for all these alternative ideas. So he did have, I think it was 20 or something from Verizon's, and then we went through those. So the end of that month, we were like, I was with,
Now
yes, I was like,
it's like can't get on. Can't.
I thought we were going to go home because we were
Right.
having some marital communications that were interesting, right? That's another part, is communications is in the family. And what did it turn out the smoking gun was finally?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
My iPad, I had everything automatic to back up to the cloud. So all the videos and stuff that I was doing between them were sharing them with each other. Like everything from my iPhone was going to my iPad, and then it was going up to the cloud. So yeah, that's where it was all going.
So anyway, the Verizon that I had at the time was, I don't know if it's, come on, focus, baby. Don't focus on my eyes. Here we go.
Hotspot.
There we go. So
Yeah.
we had a Verizon hotspot like this router, and that worked well. But I think we had 15 gigabytes on it and 30 on the iPad. It was extra 20. So I think it was like $80 for the primary, and then the secondary, if it was an iPad on Verizon, it was another 20. So that kind of got us by to upload videos and the like. And so then this more recent one that I've got is
4
coming
minutes.
up right here, 4 minutes, and I have a Netgear there, and that's one of these that I have a commercial company's chip that I pay another company. You'll find them on the internet, or let me know and I can give you the information. But I think that was about 80 or 90 a month for something like that. So you can get them, or you can get hundreds of gigabytes if you're like to have a lot of capacity and a fairly good throughput.
Right, or if you're
Or you
working,
can try
obviously.
that. Sorry.
If
What?
you're working.
Or if you're working, yeah, exactly.
So you guys want to let us know real quick when your next time slot is and when you're going to be on?
Actually, we're on at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern for campfire tonight.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep.
And you know
so
me, if I'm not there right away, I'll be having the just can I say it in front of Grace? What
sure.
Canadian whiskey will be coming out later this evening.
All right. And you're blaming me for disappearing so much?
Well, I have to share.
Okay. What about
Yeah.
you, Gina? When will you be on?
Saturday?
I don't come on. No, it's Monday at 7 p.m.
Oh, you're
Pacific.
Yeah. In fact, tell everybody. Box
Monday and Thursdays.
D does a great job. But Gina, in terms of, you talk about somebody that is a promoter, Gina, tell them part of what your show is, how you acquaint people with different producers. You're kind of like a matchmaker.
Well, yeah, I hope so. But a lot of people see it as a grow channel. I just try to help people meet new people and listen to rock and roll and jam out and just have fun.
Yeah,
I'll
is
shout
like
you out
my
if you're
kind of
there for sure.
she is really giving,
shout
and
out
no, it's not just a grow channel. It's because there's a lot of us, we want to find the people that are out there, and so she is, like I call it, she's the master matchmaker.
Sounds like a perfect plan. We look forward to seeing you then, and we definitely thank you for joining us.
Well, this purge has scared a lot of people off, I think.
Yeah, it's true.
The what?
The purge.
The purge has scared off a lot of people, but I haven't lost any subs in 5 days now, and I've got all mine back, so I don't know what went on, but it's just, you just got to keep fighting the battle. But it's not, I try not to make it a sub for sub. I try to make it where I'm meeting new people. If you look at my analytics, I got people watching from Australia, Vietnam, Japan, Manila, and I love that. I mean, and I have
Yeah.
a few loyal followers from all of those, and that come to my shows every time, that comment on my videos. I found a fella in Vietnam that's his dream to have a van. He's never seen nothing like it, and so
Oh,
it's
see, that's
a
so
trip.
wonderful.
And the only way I'm going to find those people is go to channels where those people are, and I want them to come here and meet the community, you know, and the people that want to meet new people that way. That's great. You know,
Well, we're
out of
definitely
1,600, I don't know how many watch. I got 1,600 subs. You know, the more.
Well, we definitely want to make sure that we are not going into Beyond Beauty 3's time. So we look forward to seeing you at 6 p.m. and we'll get our Canadian whiskey ready.
All right,
There you
guys.
go.
We're going to finish
All right.
it with our song here, Grace. Are you ready?
I'm always ready. I don't know what it is.
Yep. Oh, no, this isn't it.
Ah! I was going to say, all right, we got to go, babe.
See you guys.
That's me,
I don't
y'all.
have any idea what this
This
is.
is not the one. I thought it was our California travel video jingle, but oh well.
See you later. Bye, everybody. In the
Good to
chat.
see you all.
Bye.
Thanks for coming. Happy
Bye.
trails to you until we meet again.
Bye-bye.
Yes.
See you
Bye,
later.
guys. Thanks.
Oh, goodness.